Hello, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Helena.
Thank you for attending this latest session. It's officially after Labor Day, so it is now absolutely the time for us to start thinking about what we're going to be dressing up like for Halloween. My personal favorite holiday. I don't know about yours, Helena.
Yes, I love Halloween. There's so many possibilities, so many colors, so much creativity. It gets me very excited.
And I would say out of all the seasons for RIT, Halloween is by far our most celebrated season because of all the possibilities you can do with color. It's a mainstay for Halloween. And you'll just see like on our website traffic, it's usually like this. And then around Halloween, it just goes out of the screen. There's just a lot of people researching and trying to figure out how to make their costumes. So we wanted to start early and give you some inspiration from one of the favorite costumes that I've ever seen us do. This wonderful,
We are going to be making a mushroom hat.
yeah.
We made this out of all thrifted materials. I want to say that this was probably like $10 in terms of all the material. Even the filling in here was from an old pillow that I found there. A little bed sheet for underneath, and then, or a pillowcase actually, that's a little lacy. And then this was just a little blanket that we got. You want to try it on?
Yes, I do. What do you think?
Little gold. Yeah, and at a time so you can tie it all up, but we will get into all the details and show you step by step on how to make it.
Yeah, I thought we would start by going over our dyes because that's super important for when you're about to start a project. We have two main dye lines. One is called our all-purpose dye, and the other one is Dye More. So with our all-purpose dye, it is for what mostly natural fabrics, so like cotton, linen, silk, wool. It also can dye nylon. And then we have Dye More for synthetics, and this is for anything with 40% or more synthetics. So synthetic would be like polyester, acrylic, acetate.
Plastic.
Yes, even plastic. Funny fact, polyester is essentially plastic, so you can dye plastic, just like Helena did. This funny skeleton that used to be white, right?
Yeah, it was a white skeleton, and we used Dye More, and we gave it a little bath, and now he's a little cute rainbow shade.
How did you end up getting the yellow in the middle?
Well, I dipped the yellow in here, and then
Ah,
you get a little bit of green here from the blue and yellow. So like it creates kind of an ombre. You get a little orange here, but yes, he's our little rainbow skeleton. It's a really great example of how to dye synthetics and polyesters.
yeah.
Today we'll be using all-purpose.
Yes. The more color, the better here at the Rick Kitchen, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And just in case you didn't know, Michaels now has every single one of our shades, both in our powder line, which is our all purpose comes in powder or liquid, or in our liquid line. So every single one, Dye More, all purpose, Michaels has it. So make sure to, head to Michaels. You'll have endless color possibilities.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for Halloween, you want to get this exact color. If you want to be a mushroom, you don't want to have a pink top, you want a red top. So you gotta get that color right.
Yeah. So why don't we switch camera views and we'll get going on the project. We'll go over here. And I'm going to be over on the side answering questions also. So feel free to answer anything and I'll make sure to answer in the chat.
All right.
Is that good, Elena?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
All right. So to start, I'm going to bring you guys up a little bit so you guys get a wider view. We're going to be using cherry red all-purpose dye. You can use scarlet. I think cherry red is just a little bit more cutesy and demure, if you will. This is our scarlet red, and this is our cherry red for comparison, just so that you guys can have a better idea depending on which color you want. But we're going with cherry red. All right, so what I have done is I've already kind of cut my fabric into the shape that it needs to be, but basically I'm using a cotton fabric. I found this straw hat at the thrift store. I think there used to be like a ribbon on it. It seems to be ripped off. It's all kind of tattered, but no worries because we're going to give her a little transformation. Little thread and tapestry needle, but you can also just use your glue stick. We're going to use a little bit of both today. And then some rubber bands, obviously, to create the resist. Some glue sticks for the glue gun. And then needles, I already said. And then I'm using the ribbon for the ties to go around the head so that stays secure. And lastly, or not lastly, I have some gloves, but you can also use some saran wrap as well. I'll show you what I use these for later. And then we have some polyfill here, which is will kind of stuff the entire hat and create that round dome shape that looks.
So pretty much everything here, minus the hat that you thrifted, you can purchase at Michael's.
Yep, exactly. The ribbon, the thread, the needle, the gloves, and honestly, even the fabric, you can thrift it, but you can also just buy cotton fabric at the store as well. And polyfill they have available at Michael's, and obviously our dyes. Oh, and speaking of dyes, I guess these two things Michael's might not have is just salt and dish soap, but you probably already have that at home. So this is just a little something that we put in to help with the dye process and make sure that we get even coverage. And then some scissors and tongs. They just help with the dye process and with cutting the fabric, obviously. All right. I know that felt like a lot, but stay with me here. All right, let's start with our fabric. So to cut this out, I basically added about 5 to 6 inches around the circumference of the hat. And this kind of allows it to have enough room so that it creates the dome shape. So that's how I kind of cut it out. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be. Just has to be bigger than the hat so you want to cover it. So with that cut, we're going to go in with our rubber bands. So I'm just going to decide where the spots are going and adding them in very randomly. There's no science to this. If you want your spots to be bigger, you will want to make this section bigger as well. So this will kind of be the radius of your circle. So just kind of go in and create as many or as little spots as you'd like. Remember, this is going to be what creates the spots of your mushroom.
While you're doing that, Helena, would it be a good time to go over some of our other Halloween projects that we found really excited?
Definitely.
Exciting? Sure. So on our website, we have a section called Inspiration, as you can see here, and we'll head right back up to Helena. But I just wanted to show you really quick. And if you do the drop down, you click onto Halloween and all our different Halloween inspiration. So we pull open some projects we thought you might find fun and interesting, like this Halloween treat bag. And all of our instructions are in here as well. Shows you exactly how long and the different supplies that you need to make the project. And a lot of our projects also have process images. This one's really fun. It's a boba tea Halloween costume.
Wow.
What's really cool about RIT is that you can use, I'll just jump back to you for a second, Helena, is we have a tool on our website called our color formulas. And essentially it shows you 1,000 different ways that you can mix our colors to get pretty much any color you want. So with that boba tea, we wanted a very specific purple to match our favorite boba tea drink. And so we use one of our color formulas in order to mix that.
Yeah, if you're into matcha boba, there's also tons of green color formulas. So you kind of get the gist. Like you can basically be whatever you want with the help of RIT's very big color library.
Here's another example. It's a very cute kids costume, our cactus costume.
So cute. And also like so easy. I think that was just solid dyed, right?
This one's it's going to be especially popular this year. Yeah. It's a Gothic bride Halloween costume with the Beetlejuice coming out. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this one was a thrifted dress, kids dress, that they just ended up dyeing with our Dye More Super Synthetics red in order to get exactly the red that you needed. We'll jump back to you, Helena. Check in. How's it going?
Wrapped up, pun intended. So honestly, like there's no method or science to it. I just kind of went in and created little circles wherever I would look cute. Okay, so now that you have this, I'll tell you what the gloves are for. It's not for wearing. I'm actually going to cut the fingertips off. And this is going to act as a little cover slash protectant and almost like a resist for the little ties that I tied up so that the dye doesn't seep in there. You can also just use like saran wrap, but we just didn't have any at the office. And I was like, oh wait, these gloves are perfect. So we're just gonna use these today, being resourceful.
Honestly, genius. They're exactly the size of those.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take the fingertips and then put them over the little spots that we tied up. And then afterwards, we're also going to place the rubber band around the bottom as well to secure it even further. I've tested it without just like putting this on with the rubber band over it, but the dye did seep in a little bit. So I recommend doing a double tie, tying it, putting your cover over it, whether you use my little glove trick or just use saran wrap, that works as well. But this helps to really keep the whites looking very white. And with, you don't want any of the dye to bleed in there and get it looking all murky. So nice little trick.
While you're there, I just wanted to jump back to another one of my favorite costumes, ombre dyed ghost costume.
Yes.
Ghosts to me are very scary. I was terrified of them growing up. But why not add a little bit of color and make them a colorful ghost? This was done by one of our influencer creators that we often work with, the Crafty Lumberjacks, and you've heard of them, but they're wonderful. Definitely suggest this one.
I actually think they have a class coming up with Michael's soon too.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I just saw that. Learn with Michael's Instagram page. All right. All right, a few more. And I do want to preface that you should wash your fabrics prior to your projects, wash and dry. And with any thrifted fabrics too, I recommend using something like whitewash. This is one of our products that kind of helps to remove stains and any yellowing, especially if you're working with thrifted items that have kind of a discolored area or some stains that you want to work with. I really like this for any thrifted material, just to really get it back to that white, clean base instead of that like murky, dingy, yellowy fabric that sometimes can get with older materials.
Whitewash is actually also carried at Michael's. I definitely would suggest you only use it on white fabrics. That's a mistake I've heard of some people making, but because it has some non-chlorine bleach in it, which is a version of bleach that's safer for fabrics. So you could dye the fabric after if you'd like. And then it also has an optical whitener, so it makes the fabric nice and bright.
Yes. Okay.
If you're looking just to make your fabrics bright and white, you can also pick up at Michael's our whitener brightener,
which is this one right here. And then we also have color remover, which is really great if you have something pre-existing and you want to change the color of it. Or let's say I had like a blue, comforter that I wanted to turn into a mushroom hat, then I would have used the color remover to kind of get rid of the color and dye over it. But yeah, these are some little
let's say whitewash is essentially a combination of color remover and whitener brightener. That's a nice way to look at it.
All right, all of our little fingertips are on. It's looking a little spooky. I'm gonna grab some more rubber bands and then we're going to secure them just once more and then we will start dyeing. All right, got some more rubber bands. And this kind of helps to, again, keep the dye from getting into this area, but it'll also continue to, but it'll still allow a little bit of that dye to bleed in a little bit so that you get that cool tie-dye spotted look.
While you're doing that, I'll jump back in.
Yeah.
It's another one of my favorites. Instead of ombre dyeing, you can solid dye the ghost, and then it's really one of the friendliest ghosts I've ever seen. This is one kind of spooky but fun. It's a decor project. It's a splatter fake blood table cover.
Yeah, I think we used a little bit of cornstarch to thicken up the dye so that it wouldn't, yeah, look at all that testing. We used a spray bottle, we used the squirt bottle just to really make sure, we really get the look. You want to make it look like you're walking into a forensics lab.
There's a process image for you showing exactly how you got it done.
That was a lot of fun. And I believe that was actually using scarlet because that is a little bit more of that spookier red. More of that bloody red than the cherry red, which is leans a little bit more pink, I would say, but is like not pink at all. Here are the two swatches again, just as a reminder. We wanted to look at that while I finish binding this up. I don't know, have people already started thinking about what they're going to dress up as? Have they already solidified it?
No what would you say one of the favorite projects you've ever worked on is?
This one is definitely up there, for sure. But in the past, I really liked one of our influencers made a alien costume. And I think she dyed her.
I have that actually up. I can show everyone.
That's my favorite. It was also just the way she shot it too, was just so creative. And
there you go.
The neon
green, which is also available at Michael's. She used that. She painted her face green too to match. And pretty much what it is, just how did she? I wonder if she probably sewed those sleeves on.
So the sleeves on, or it might just be a sleeveless like tunic. Can't remember. I also really like the headpiece that she made. Reminds me kind of this mushroom costume. All right. Oh, missed this one. I want to make sure that you get all of them, or else you'll end up with one really splotchy looking spot.
I would say one of my most memorable dyed projects is the Morton Salt Girl. So she wears a yellow dress. Did it for my wife. We used lemon yellow and dyed her whole dress. It was one of the easiest projects I've ever done. Yes, there you go.
Did she have the umbrella too?
She had the umbrella and salt. I kept pouring salt on her.
Lots of tequila shots that night. Kidding. Okay, so we have them all wrapped up and secured with rubber bands. So now we are going to go into the dye bath. I already kind of prepped a little bit, and then I also had some water heating up in this electric kettle that we have. So I'm just gonna add it right in here.
How did you decide on the ratio of dye to water? Are you just kind of guessing it, or are you using actually some sort of measurement?
So because I'm going with a solid color, and I know that these buckets are half of a gallon, and our typical measurements are 3 gallons is what we would say. And then for 3 gallons, you would use half the bottle. But because we're only just doing solid dye today, I like to really pump up the color. So I'll probably just still put half the bottle in, even though this is about, 1/6 of a recommended amount of water, just to really punch that color up.
Good to know. I think probably with color formulas, if you're mixing.
Yes, if you're using color formula, you definitely should follow the instructions. But again, because this is just solid dyeing, all this will do is make this color more potent and make it more saturated, as opposed to like turning it into a completely different color. I'm adding some dish soap. This just helps with even coverage. And then I'm also adding in some soap. That was about a teaspoon of soap, and then adding about a 1/4 cup of salt. This helps to, create positive charges in the water, and then cotton is negatively charged. So it helps to kind of bind the dye onto the fabric itself.
And the soap is to help with even coverage of the dye.
Yeah, definitely. It acts as a surfactant. It helps to keep the dyes suspended in the water so that it gets into all the fibers. All right, my favorite part, pouring the dye in. I already used half the bottle, so I'm just gonna pour this entire bottle in. Ooh.
Pretty.
Spooky.
Spooky. At the same time.
Oh, looks like blood. All right, give it a nice mix. And, we were talking about color formulas and ratios earlier. If you're not sure, always, always, always do a little test with paper towel to kind of see what color you're gonna get. Ooh, yes, very saturated. I'm into that. So let's go on in. So I'm gonna bring you guys down a little bit further. This way. All right. Here was what we bound up earlier. And we're just gonna go right in. Whoa.
Creepy.
Yeah, it kind of looks like little fingers floating in there. All right. As you can see, the little white areas that we put the protectant cover over is staying white.
So because we're using all-purpose dye, our dye for natural fabrics, you're able to dye in like a container, a bucket, or a sink,
Yes.
just with the hottest water from your tap. You can also supplement with water from your stove. But if you're using dye more for synthetics, which is our other dye for polyester, and acrylic and acetate, we do recommend doing that on your stove because you really need really hot water in order to make sure that the dye penetrates the fabric.
Yeah.
So we recommend for the whole duration of the dyeing that you do it on the stove top.
Yeah, I think dye more is 200 degrees Fahrenheit, just under boiling, and all-purpose we recommend, I think, 160, right?
Yes.
But again, like Jonathan said, just your hottest water on your tap will probably be good enough. We poured ours a little bit before this class started, so I just supplemented with some water from the kettle just to give it a little extra temperature or a little extra heat.
Yeah, we always say the hotter, usually the hotter the water, the better. Really helps with intensify that color, get that really bright color. Or dark if you're using black.
Yeah, and if you can't, like if you don't have access to hot water for any reason, you can also leave your fabric out in the sun or put it in the microwave if there's no metal components on it, and that can also help to get heat into the fibers so that it accepts the dye better. I think you can also use a blow dryer as well.
Yes. Dyes just need heat, I guess, right? Yeah.
All right, that is looking pretty good. You want to keep agitating it and moving it around. I know it looks like it's totally and fully dyed, but there are so many little folds and little areas in between the tied off areas that will sometimes look splotchy if you take it out too early. So I always recommend leaving it in there for just a little bit longer than you actually think. Unless of course you see like dyes bleeding into your white areas. But as you can see, they're all fairly still white.
Yeah, that glove trick really worked.
It's also the rubber bands. I tied them pretty tight just to make sure it doesn't get in there. And you can also see like the glove tips are starting to expand a little just from the heat of the dye bath. I always think that's kind of funny / creepy looking. It's like, it's alive.
If you don't move around the fabric, then the dye can hit areas unevenly, and it can, as you said, lead to splotchiness.
Yeah, if there's any like dye in there that hasn't been properly mixed in yet, that could also just like create a splotchy like dark stain on your garment as well. So I always recommend moving it around because like leaving it to sit like that is obviously the easiest thing to do, but it will not get you even results. And that's what we're aiming for. All right. While that is, and also it's, you just need to stir it for like the first 10 minutes. You don't need to stir it for like the entire 30 minutes. Like I don't have the arm strength for that. So right now I think it's pretty evenly distributed. So I'm gonna let it sit there and then prepare my fixative dye bath to rinse this all out. All right.
So for those who don't know, we have a product called Color Stay Dye Fixative, also available at Michael's. It's what we call our secret weapon to reduce bleeding and fading from your fabrics. We recommend that you use it. You know, it's an optional product, but we definitely do recommend using it after every dye, you know, after any dye project.
Definitely. It helps to reduce with rinse time and bleeding, as Jonathan just said. And
when you're doing techniques, right? It helps.
yes, that too, because it's like I don't want any of that dye bleeding into the white areas that we just meticulously tied up and tried so hard to keep white. So really want to do the Color Stay Dye Fixative so that that doesn't happen. And I put in about 2 tablespoons. A little goes a long way with the Color Stay Dye Fixative. You can rinse in between or just pull it directly into the fixative dye bath. I'm just going to put it directly in there. And obviously the water is going to turn a little pink and red. That's just the unabsorbed dyes and the excess dyes getting pulled out from the fabric.
And you also, we recommend using hot water.
Yes.
When you, with fixative as well. So with all of our products, we almost always recommend, and we do, using hot water if possible.
Yes. And then our very last step, we'll rinse with cold water, and that will kind of deactivate any leftover dye particles and rinse them out. When you take these out, you want to rinse in cold water because that will get the dyes out. But if you rinse in hot water, that will then introduce some of those unabsorbed dye particles back into your garments. So that's when a lot of people will end up with bleeding, or they'll say that like the dye like bled into the whites of their tie dye, and that's probably because there was unabsorbed dyes still on the garment that wasn't rinsed off properly. So this just really helps to get that all out. All right, now that we've done the fixative, I'm gonna empty this one out, and then I'm gonna fill it up with some clear cold water to just really show you guys how that works. Rinse this out really quick. And don't worry about the sink. We're gonna use a little bit of diluted bleach to clean that out later. All right. Stirring this.
It's a very pretty red.
It is.
You're using cherry red?
Yes, we are using cherry red. Again, scarlet red is a little bit darker. This is scarlet red and this is cherry red. And then as it dries, it will also get a little bit lighter too. So you kind of want to keep that in mind when you're dyeing. So this is just clear, cold water, room temperature. Squeeze this out a little bit. Put that in there and agitate it. So that's
a lot of dye was removed from that fixative.
Good. Look at the color difference. These are neither of these had dye in it. So this is all just the excess dye that came out of it. And then this is just cold water, and it's just kind of pulling all the unabsorbed dyes out. And then I'm going to give it one last rinse in the sink, and that should get us clean. All right. I mean, just look at the comparison of these two
Yeah.
dye baths. or not dye baths, fixed bath. Alrighty. Get one final rinse in the water.
While you're doing that, I can show everyone another one of my favorite projects, the tie-dyed spider web bedding. You want to get extra spooky for the holiday season, for Halloween season, definitely recommend using our black dye and tie-dyeing with the scrunch method, I believe, right,
Yeah,
Elena?
the
Or is that swirl?
it would be swirl. The instructions would probably show us. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. I love Halloween decorations. I think they're so fun and you can get so creative with it, you know, from your bedroom to like your dining room. There's just so many possibilities. I even remember last year, Jonathan dyed up spider webs, the synthetic like spider webbing. I thought that was so cool. I didn't know that was even possible.
Every year I try and find 2 or 3 things that I never thought you could dye, or at least we both try and dye it. And then we're always pleasantly shocked. I think probably the only time something hasn't dyed was metal.
Yeah, metal we haven't been able to dye, but like it's still like tinted a little bit. So I mean technically, but yeah, I haven't really found anything that you can't dye yet. All right. It's looking kind of weird, I know, but it's all cleaned, no dye rubbing off. So we're going to remove our little gloves, fingertips. Okay. Just kind of pull them off like this. There.
Oh, those are looking very white.
They better stay that way. Okay. The reason why I like these glove tips is that with saran wrap, depending on how you wrap it, like it's sometimes there might be like a seam somewhere that the dye is kind of seeping into. Honestly, when the dye bleeds in, it kind of creates a cool look anyway. So it's not the end of the world, but I do recommend this glove trick that I just figured out. All right. All right. This is my favorite part. I love just popping these out. So a circle, another one there. Whoa. And here are our little mushroom spots. They're so cute.
Yeah.
You can throw this in the dryer, but I prefer to let my tie-dye garments air dry. I just found that the heat sometimes can
Wow.
make the colors.
That is cool.
Yeah, so much fun, so easy. And you get all your little spots. Now, before this class, I did dye up a sample and I let it dry so that we don't have to sit here and wait for this to dry. So I'm going to put this guy off onto our hanging rack.
In the area a bit.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is actually like my third one making this. This one was from earlier and it's almost dry, but you can see the spots are all nice and white and clean. All right. And here's one that we're gonna work on. This one, like right here, it bled in just a tiny bit, but like you can still tell that it still looks like mushroom spots and it's still very cute. All right. Now that we have the dry one, this is where we get crafty. So I'm just going to take little thread. I just have some embroidery floss, but you can pretty much use anything. And I'm just going to do a running stitch around the perimeter of the circle. And this will help us to gather the fabric later, and that's going to help us create the shape. So here I will just back and forth, just like so.
While you're doing that, I'll jump in with a few more costumes.
Sure.
As you may know, RIT is almost over 100 years old. So obviously we were around during the 60s. And how could we not but create a hippies costume, which is a great example of just tie-dyeing any of your clothes. I love the idea that we tie-dyed a button down here.
Yes.
It's really unique. You may not normally find a button-down tie-dyed shirt, but with RIT, you can tie-dye just about anything.
Yeah, I think those pants were like a synthetic material and they were white and we dyed them purple.
With dye more.
Yeah, which is unheard of. And even within dye bottles, you can get a variation of shades. So our dye more purple, royal purple, can be a very dark like eggplant color. But if you only use about like 2 tablespoons, you can get kind of a more lilac shade like so.
Check back in, see how you're doing.
Okay. Again, running stitch is very easy. So yeah, almost there. Almost there.
One of my favorite dog projects ever is this dog leash.
Oh,
So it was a white leash, and basically, I mean, couldn't be easier. Just dyed half of it black and half of it orange.
yeah, and I
A little
believe
bit crossover in between.
the leash was also like 100% cotton, so we just used all purpose, which was really nice. That's Jonathan's dog.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have the matching bandana.
Oh yes. We also just did a little tie-dye dog shirt, but I don't think that's up on the website quite yet. So keep a eye out for some of our new Halloween projects that we've been working on, including this mushroom hat. We'll post written instructions so that you guys can follow along if you miss anything here.
And as Felicia said, this will also be on Michael's YouTube channel, I believe, starting tomorrow or the day after. So you can always check back in if you are getting lost or need some little bit of tips on how to finish the project.
All right. Pull it through. Almost there.
Have you decided what you're going to dress up as this year?
Honestly, I might just recycle the one I wore last year. I was coincidentally I was a alien, but I did not go with the green fit. I went with a metallic outfit. But I did dye some gloves to make it look gray, like the space. But I haven't thought about it yet. I've been too busy making these costumes. Maybe I'll just wear this mushroom hat. What about you or your kids?
Oh, it's been a lot of conversation, but we haven't really figured it out yet. There's always a lot of pressure on me since I work at RIT to make sure that we have the best Halloween costume on the planet.
Yes. Okay. There we go. Okay. So just a very simple running stitch around the perimeter. You can see that I was not very neat with it, and that's totally okay because it's all gonna be hidden anyway. So what we're gonna do now that we have the running stitch around it, you're gonna grab the 2 ends right here, and then you're gonna pull. And this kind of looks like a little shower cap, but this is what's going to be the mushroom cap.
In our next live, we'll do a how to make a custom shower cap, tie-dye.
There, so it kind of creates this little bulbous hat. And then we're going to fill this up with some polyfill that we have.
So the polyfill is also available at Michael's?
Yes. Yeah. I ordered this on their website. Not sure if it's in store. I think it is. So yeah, you kind of have to stuff and pull kind of at the same time to keep its shape. We haven't tied this off quite yet. And try to leave a little area in the middle. This is where the crown of your hat will go into. Okay. Just a little gentle pull and just make sure that the cinched areas are nice and even. And when you feel okay about the shape and the size of it, you can go ahead and tie it off. I'm going to just make sure and triple check that this is wide enough for the hat so that when we glue it on later, it goes all the way around. That looks good. So I'm just going to tie it right there. And again, for the example that I created, I actually just got the polyester stuffing from a pillow that I thrifted for 50 cents. Just a little hack if you're looking for that. But this polyfill is definitely much more fluffy, and the one I thrifted was very stiff. So do what you will with that information. All right.
We got a lot of upcycling talk here at the RIT headquarters, always trying to think how we can reuse things.
Yes. Especially with Halloween costumes, they create so much waste. You know, oftentimes people wear them once and then it ends up in the landfill. So I'm always preaching to upcycle your costume, make it from something you already have, you know, get crafty. It's a lot of fun too. Okay. Here's our little
Very cute.
mushroom. All right. Now, last step here is just to kind of shape it around the hat. Kind of like push it down. So that covers the vicinity of the hat. This is kind of a smaller version than the one that we have previously made. The hat that I thrifted was a little bit bigger, but still kind of get the same idea.
Kids project.
Yeah, exactly. A little kids project. So for this part, I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue around the edge of the hat here, and then adhere the edge of this top on there so that it creates a little hat. All right. Nothing too crazy here, just push it down. And then leave a little bit, kind of let it dry and set. And while that sets, I'm going to continue on with the rest of the hat. Okay.
Now I'm trying to think maybe this can be implemented for some sort of derby party.
Oh.
Whenever I see a floppy hat, that's what I think, derby.
I also thought this could be a good project to create a jellyfish costume as well. If you just created like a you know, a solid color top and then created some like ribbons or in different colors and let it topple over the sides a little bit, I think that could be really cute.
Very.
Okay. I think I might have made this a little too small, so I'm just gonna cut a little snip to kind of give me a little bit more room to work with here. Okay.
Little known fact about me, I've always wanted a jellyfish in my house. I could stare at them for hours. They're very therapeutic.
Just get a lava lamp.
Good point.
I love going to the shed and watching the jellyfish there. It's so mesmerizing.
The aquarium?
Yeah. For those who are not from Chicago, that's where we're based. And again, you can also just use the hot glue to put the mushroom cap on without sewing it like I did earlier with the running stitch. You can just kind of like pleat it around the hat and just glue it on as well if you are not confident in your sewing skills. But again, a running stitch is very easy. So I trust that you guys can do it. But hot glue gun is always there if you need some extra help. And just glue it around the edges here. And you kind of want it to spill over a little bit to create that
mushroom shape.
Yes, the mushroom shape, exactly. I'm just gonna go around to make sure that it's all sealed and nicely glued. All right. Now, sorry, I know I said that was the last step, but I lied. I'm just going to attach these ribbons to either side, and this will kind of help to secure it onto your head when you're out and about or trick-or-treating. You don't want it to fly off your head. I'm just using a little embroidery thread and looping this through.
Clever.
It has to be functional, you know?
Yes. You can wear it after Halloween too. To the derby.
Yes, exactly. The mushroom derby. All right. And you just want to make sure that it's across from each other so that when you tie it, it works like it's supposed to. I'm just going to tie it with a little knot, nothing fancy. And that is it. You can go ahead and add lining like I did earlier in the example, but I'm just going to leave it like this just because it's, I don't know, I kind of like it like that too. And yeah, that's how I did it.
Bravo, Helena. Very clever. Here, I'll put mine on.
Now we can be, oh my God, mushrooms together. I probably could have added a little bit more stuffing, but again, experiment and play around with it. I might wear this for Halloween this year, actually, like this exact one.
Well, thank you again for joining us. As I mentioned, we've got every shade at Michael's, so make sure to head to Michael's to pick any of our colors or use our color formulas feature to get that specific one you need for Halloween. We can't wait to see what you make, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Yeah.
So thanks again.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.